Right now, somewhere in your body, or within arm's reach, there's a device that knows where you slept last night. It knows what time you woke up. It knows how long you stayed in bed before you actually got up. It knows whether you went to the gym, whether you stopped for coffee, and which route you took to get there. It knows who called you this week and how long you spoke to them. It knows which messages you opened immediately and which ones you left unread for hours. It knows your silence just as clearly as it knows your words. It knows your patterns, your habits, your rhythms in many ways. It knows your daily life with a precision that most human beings in your life never could. And you carry it willingly everywhere, every day. That device is your smartphone. And this video is not about fear. It's not about paranoia. It's about understanding clearly, calmly, and honestly what that device actually is, what it actually does, and what the real cost of that small, glowing rectangle in your pocket might be. Most people, when asked about their digital privacy, say something that sounds reasonable on the surface. I have nothing to hide. It is one of the most common responses in any conversation about surveillance, data collection, or digital tracking. And on the surface, it seems rational. If you are not a criminal, if you are not doing anything wrong, why would you care who is watching? The problem is that this argument misunderstands what modern data collection is actually for. It is not primarily about catching criminals. It is not primarily about national security. It is not even primarily about you as an individual. It is about patents. Modern data collection, at the scale operated by technology companies, advertising networks, and data brokers, is fundamentally about understanding human behavior in aggregate. It is about building models, predictive models, models that can anticipate what you will do, what you will buy, what you will click on, what you will believe, before you have consciously decided any of it yourself. Think about that for a moment. The goal is not to know what you did yesterday. The goal is to predict what you will do tomorrow. And the raw material for those predictions is the data your smartphone produces every single day, quietly, constantly, without you thinking about it. There's also a second assumption worth examining, and it sounds like this: I am protected, Apple protects me, Google protects me, Android protects me. There's some truth here. Both Apple and Google have made genuine investments in user privacy over the years. Encrypted storage, app permission systems, privacy labels, on-device processing for sensitive data. These are real, they matter. They are not nothing. But protection is not the same as immunity. In the architecture of a smartphone, the way it was designed to work, the way apps interact with it, the way data flows through it, means that even a well-protected device is producing an enormous volume of information about you, constantly, as a core function of how it operates. The device was built to be connected. Connection, by its nature, means transmission, and transmission means data. The third assumption is perhaps the most dangerous of all. It sounds like this: I am not important enough to be targeted. This is the assumption that data collection is like a spotlight. That somewhere someone is specifically choosing to watch you, specifically out of billions of people. And since you are not a politician, not a CEO, not a criminal, the spotlight never points your way. But that is not how it works. Modern data collection is not the spotlight, it is a net that catches everything. And the value is not in any single fish, the value is in the pattern of everything caught together. Your data combines with the data of millions of other people with similar demographics, similar locations, similar behaviors. That combination is extraordinarily valuable. Not because you specifically matter to an algorithm, but because you are one data point in a model that is trying to understand and predict human behavior at scale. You matter in the aggregate. And that is what most people never quite grasp. What your smartphone actually collects. Let us be specific, because the conversation around smartphones and privacy often stays frustratingly vague. People know in some abstract sense that their phone collects data. But what does that actually mean? Let us walk through it clearly. Your smartphone knows where you are, not approximately, precisely, through GPS, through cell tower triangulation, through Wi-Fi network positioning. If location services are enabled and an app has permission, your phone can pinpoint your position to within a few meters. Over time, this builds something researchers call a mobility pattern. Map of everywhere you go, at what times, with what frequency. That map tells a story. It tells whether you go to a place of worship, whether you attend medical appointments at a specific type of clinic, whether you spend nights at an address that is not your own, whether your daily routine changed abruptly, and when. Location data, at scale and over time, is one of the most intimate forms of information that exists. Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Even if you are not actively connected to a network, your phone is broadcasting signals. Looking for familiar networks, scanning for nearby devices. Those scans are logged. They can reveal which shops you walked past, which cafes you sat in, which events you attended, which people whose device you came into proximity with. You were near and for how long. Retail chains have used Bluetooth beacons for years to track customer movement inside stores, not to spy on individuals. The industry will tell you, but to understand traffic patterns, dwell times, popular zones, the individual again is less important than the pattern. Every app on your phone requests access to something: microphone, camera, contacts, location, calendar, photos, storage. Most people tap allow without reading the request carefully, because the app is asking right at the moment they want to start using it. And the friction of saying no, it feels like it will break the experience. What those permissions actually mean varies enormously. A flashlight app that requests access to your contacts is not asking for something it needs to function. It is asking for something it can monetize. And the microphone question, which is perhaps the most emotionally loaded one, deserves to be addressed honestly. Does your iPhone list it to your conversations? The technically accurate answer is it depends entirely on which apps you have installed and what permissions they have been granted. The microphone is hardware. Any app with the microphone permission can, in principle, access it, whether any specific app is doing so, and for what purpose. It's significantly harder to verify from the outside. What we do know is that behavioral targeting, showing you an ad for something you mentioned in a conversation, can often be explained without active listening. Through the sheer predictive accuracy of behavioral and location data, the algorithm does not always need to hear you to know what you are thinking about. Motion sensors. Your phone contains an accelerometer, a gyroscope, sometimes a barometer. These sensors measure how your device moves. They were built primarily for navigation and screen orientation, but motion data also reveals behavior. Researchers have demonstrated the ability to infer typing content from accelerometer data alone. Subtle vibrations of keystrokes produce patterns that with enough samples can be decoded. Others have shown that the way you hold and carry your phone can be used as a biometric signature. Your personal gait, your grip, your motion as an identifier. This is not science fiction. These are published academic findings about commercially available hardware, ad identifiers, and analytics. Every smartphone carries an advertising identifier, a unique code assigned to your device that ad networks use to track your behavior across apps. When you open a weather app, a game, a news reader, each of those apps can report your activity to analytics platforms. Those platforms aggregate behavior across thousands of apps to build a profile, not of a name, but of a device, and therefore a person. That profile knows your interests, your purchasing behavior, your browsing habits, the time of day you are most active, the content categories you engage with most. It is, in the meaningful sense, a digital portrait, cloud synchronization. When you back up your iPhone to a cloud service, which most people do because losing all of your photos is generally awful, copies of your data live on servers you do not control, maintained by a company operating under the laws of the country in which it is incorporated. Your messages, your photos, your notes, your passwords. If you store them in the cloud keychain, all of it sits somewhere other than the device, protected by layers of security that are generally strong. None of this is secret. The data practices of major technology companies are documented in privacy policies that are in theory publicly available. The challenge is that those documents are long, dense, and written in language and requires legal training to interpret. They are technically disclosures. They are not, in any meaningful sense. The phone is not always the weakest point. Here's something that surprises many people who think seriously about digital security for the first time. The most sophisticated protection in the world on your device means very little if the attack never targets your device directly. Modern smartphones, particularly those running recent versions of iOS or Android, with all security patches applied, are generally hard to compromise through purely technical means. The vulnerabilities that allow direct exploitation of a fully updated, well-configured smartphone are rare, expensive, and generally used only in the most targeted of circumstances. But there is a much simpler path, and it goes through you. Phishing. Imagine you receive an email. It looks exactly like an email from your bank. The logo is right, the formatting is right, the tone is right, it informs you that there has been unusual activity on your account and asks you to verify your identity by clicking the link and logging in. You click the link, the page that loads exactly like your bank's website. You enter your password, username and password, and then nothing unusual happens. You are redirected to the real site. Perhaps showing a session expired message, and you continue your day. I'm gonna quit now. Tomorrow we're gonna continue with the next episode.